cannot see my screen now. So dealing with dictionaries. Python dictionary is like a data structure, right? For storing and organizing data. We've seen lists, we've seen string and so on. So today we'll be talking about dictionary, we'll be talking about external library. Now we also be introducing you to pandas, NumPy, and date and time. And at the end of this class, we're dealing with scraping data scraping, because due to time, we just have 8 weeks for this this program. So this is the time, might not be able to take them. I'll give you a way we can quickly fasten up that, and also a code you can use to scrape data from the internet or from any website. Then from next week, we start with pandas, right? So let's begin. Dictionary is more similar to, let me call it, to like a dictionary in real life. Let's create a variable called the, just call it di, right? So let me say, let me say phone book, perhaps. If I say phone book, right? So this is the symbol for dictionary. So once you create something like this, then it shows that you are creating a dictionary, right? So let's say I have names and phone number. So dictionary is more like a key and value pair, right? Let's say I have my names at the left hand side. Let me call it, let me say Israel, which has to be a string. Oh, I want to connect this. So let me say Israel, string. My phone number. Let's say I have 2 phone numbers. Oh, let me not make it that. Let's say I have one phone number like this. 070099999. Let me say AY, right? And the phone number is 1234, for instance, right? Let me run this cell. I'm waiting for my runtime to connect. Once it connects, I'll be able to run that. Okay, it's complaining of integer. So I'll just convert this one, remove this, for instance, and I'll run this. Okay. All right, so let's print out the phone book. Let's create a new cell. I'm used to this. Okay, let's print out the phone book. So if I say print, right, phone book. Let's see what will happen. As you can see, I have it in form of key and value pair. The names are the key, right? While the phone number are the values. So sometimes this might be the best way to store our data. For instance, I'll give a sample. Comfortable with my phone. I'm trying to make this thing open up on my system. So I can switch. I will create a new cell. Let's say I want to create list of items and their prices. Items, right? Let me say I have 2 items, for instance. price. I have goods, let's say beans, right? I'll close the list, then I'll say price, right? And let me say price, let's say 10,000, right? And the beans, let's say 40,000. Now, you might be facing a dilemma by saying, how do we know which item has which price, right? So we can look through. To look through, I can use the for loop, say for, let's say for X in items. Let me use range, right, of length of items, right? But in this case, it has to be -1. Please ask question if you don't understand. Right? So when I say -1, that means I want one less than, since indexing is always one less. So then I will say print, right? Okay, I think I'm on my phone now. I'm going to switch back to my system. Okay. Apologies, just a minute. Let me log out from my phone. This system's been a while. What's logging me out? No. No.
Hi, I can hear you.
Hi, we can hear you, sir.
Sorry, I was trying to switch from my. Okay, let me proceed from here. So let's say I want to accept X in range of this, so that I can set say print the price of, right. So in this case, I can just use formatting string, price of items X, right, is price X. So I'll close the string. Now we'll close this. So I'll run this. Okay, items not defined. So I have to put this in capital T, capital I rather. Let me run this again. In line of items, ITEMS. Hello, please, can you, I don't know if you can see what I'm working on, because we need to be together. I don't want to. For X in range of, okay, for X in the range of line of items.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't see your screen.
You can't see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Wow. I'm actually working from a phone, right? So more or less, okay. Let me try the share again so that I can see. Okay, I will share this again so that. So let me share my screen again. How about now? Which screen can you see? Perhaps
I can see your screen. I can see your screen, sir. Google Drive. I can see it.
Baby.
Yeah.
All right. So
Thank you.
now, you're welcome. So I want to run this. It's bringing error temps. Where did I put that? I only see items here. Right? Unmatched. Okay, here. Thank you. Items. All right, so that is that. Print is not defined, small letter P. Right? It's not really easy to program on phone anyway. Okay, so then turn this one to formatting string. Yes. All right, so it has done that. As you can, though it's not looping all through, that's not what I actually wanted it to do. But as you can see, it was able to identify rice, that the amount of rice is 10,000, right? We can correct that anyways, but I don't want to waste my time on that. So what I will do, instead of using loop to read through list, right? We can use a dictionary to do that by saying items, right? Then I can now put all my items like saying rice and put the price, right? Then I'll put the price and I'll say, let's say 10,000, comma, and what else? Beans. Then colon, then the price 40,000. Right. Now close dictionary. Let me run this. Good. So then I can now print out items by using saying print items. Right. So that will give me. Now the question is now, if we use this type of data structure, how then do we access each of the items in dictionary? We access them by using methods like the way we use for lists as well. So let's say I want to access all the items in all the keys in this item. So I can say items.keys. It's going to give me all the prices, right? You can say I can all the items actually. So that is rice and beans. When I say items dot values, right? So it's going to give me all the prices of the items. Now let me use this to now do the same, what I wanted to do with list. Let me now do the same thing with dictionary. So I can say for X, Y, or to make it more precise, for goods, comma, price, in, right, items dot let me not use this word. Of course, item is also a method there. But let me go ahead with dot items, right? So if I put this, please take note that this first item here is a variable, the other one is a method, right? So and I'll say print, giving me capital P, I'm not comfortable with this. Print, right? I like using formatting to make sure that you don't have stress in print F the price of goods. So I'll just put this here now. Is price. Now close this. Now I don't know if you guys are comfortable with programming on my phone, but that's just the best for now. Okay, on the non-terminated string, I did not close this string here. I just have to close that and run. Okay, I'm having invalid syntax. Okay, let's test run that for now, because I really don't know where the error is coming from. So we had a new notebook here. Let's say items.items to see what is happening there. Okay, it's working. So let me go back to the code and I see where the error is coming from, Martin. Okay, it is here. So from in items.items, then I will run this. For good price in items.items. Wow, it's not really easy programming from anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's run this again. So what? Let me use this cell because it's not really comfortable to me. So I'll say, let me do this for. So I have to split this good first, comma, price next, in, right? Then I put my colon, 1, 2, 3, 4, print. Let me print goods and this thing first. Let me say goods, comma, price. Let's see if that will work. That works, of course. So how come I was having an error in the previous one? So I will have F, my head, then we do this. So then let me say This goods, right, is now put this, close this. Let me run that and see if I have. Okay, it is actually not working. I'll just use my normal string. I'll say goods, right? Comma, then put my string is, then comma, then price. I'm sure this one will work this way. And let me run. All right. Couldn't accept my formatting string. Then I'll proceed. So this is dictionary to be precise, right? So how do we add new items to a dictionary? To add new items to a dictionary, you can easily just call my variable items, then use this list operator or slices, then put the name of the new item I want to add. Let's say I want to add millet, right? Then I can just say millet equals to, let me say 70,000. Let me now print items now. Say print items, right? So if I run this, you notice that millet dictionary. So that is how to add dictionary. This is always very, very, very useful for that. So the next I want to talk about is external library. Sometimes, hello, am I still online? Hello? Okay. Let's say we want to use external libraries.
Yeah, sure.
I want was somebody talking to me? Okay. We might not need to create every of our tools ourselves. For instance, we need a library. This is called actually module anyway. You can use external module, like let's say import time. To use external module, like we use the keyword import, right? When we call the module, it's going to make become available in our workspace. So I'm going to import time now. So the first thing I will use is let's say I want to write a program that will pause after every 2 seconds. Now, of course, I cannot do that without the time module. So let's write a code from that. I'll say for okay, let me print it 10 times. Small letter F for high in range. Let me say in range 10. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. For high in range 10, print hello everyone. Right. So look at, I will run this first and see small letter P. I don't know why this keyboard is giving me capital letter P. All right. Now you can see the way everything runs. We don't know at what time it runs, right? So let's say I can use stop, right? So I can say time dot sleep. Let's say I want to sleep, let's say 20 seconds. If I run this now, take note. Okay, probably 20 seconds is too much. so it can be obvious. Let me make it 2 seconds. 1. Take note, look at how it is slowing down. Till it finishes. All right. Now that you have seen how the time module looks like. There are so many things we can do with the time module, right? But the most useful or the most used sometimes is the date time module, right? The date time module is also very similar to the time module. Let me add a new distance and I will import date time. Let me say import date time, right? So the date time module combines both the feature of the date of the time and the date at the same time. Now, this is what I'll do. I'm going to say I want to check today's time. I can say print date time, right? Date time dot today. So if I say date time dot today, let me close the print and see what says the time now. Okay, if your import is missing, you can manually install. Okay, I think this is Colab issue anyway. This issue is particular to Colab. Okay, do not found. Okay, I imported data time. Please let's be active. I might have typed rubbish. So this is date time, DATE, then time. So let me run this again. Okay, that'll be date time dot now. For this. Okay, well, module date time has no attributes. Now, why is that possible? Okay, let me use another method from there. Let's say date time dot today. This is particular to, I wish I can switch to my laptop. It's not really convenient to work. If you're working on laptop, I'm sure this will work. Please try it, right? So it's going to work. So you said, who has done that? If you have done that, please kindly let me know. Hello? Somebody confirm listening? Hello? Hello? Nobody is responding. Why?
I'm trying it.
Okay. Also trying to switch to my laptop. I think I should do some. If my actual work on what's it called, on any editor, whether VS Code or not, you can just work on it. All right, let us not waste our time. I'm sure if you work this on, you should be able to work. So let's proceed. Later, if it works, let me know. I'm sure it's going to work. It's because of my work environment. Now, another thing we can use, external library, right, is the NumPy, right? So NumPy is a library. So we are still going to talk about it for making as a data scientist or machine learning engineer. You'll be working mostly with digits, right? So let's say we want to sum or want to average. You can use the NumPy mode. Let's say I have a list of numbers. Let's say numbers, right? Numbers, I have a list. I have 10, 20, 30, right? Anyway, if you use the sum function here, it will work definitely, right? But many of it that are used to code work or bit code, you'll notice that they're going to test your code rigorously on large numbers, right? If you try this on large numbers, it's going to stop running or it's going to run into problem. Let me run this. This will work now. So if you have larger numbers, you wouldn't want to use this function. You will want to employ NumPy module, right? So I can just say NumPy dot sum. So once I use the NumPy dot sum, then I can then say numbers. Okay, import NumPy. I have capital letter N instead of small letter N. And also I have not, okay, I've imported NumPy anyway. I just have to change this to small letter N. And you run. So you can see. So the difference is that using external library like NumPy for your calculation is 50 times faster than using list or any other Python library, right? Now let's now come back to importation. You can see the way we have imported. It is actually two variables. I can shorten this by saying import NumPy as MP, right? So this MP is an alias for shortening NumPy. I will run this then do that by saying, let me create a new. Now, and instead of not saying NumPy now, I will now use the alias by saying mp.sum then numbers. If I run this, as you can see, it works because I have aliased this as np. Now, another way to import, let's assume that I want to work with a library date time, right? Now, let's say I can say from, okay, let me redo this that I did before. Let me import date time because I guess I was one who did not import it properly. Let me import date time, right? Then I need a date time is actually, let me say, is an object, right? We are used to OOP. Object has classes, you have to instantiate them, right? So let's say I want the date from date time. So I can say date time. Okay, I've seen where I went from. Date time dot date, right? Now from the date, I need today. Let me take that again. Date time has its own, is a module on its own. From inside date time, you can find the date, you can find the time, right? So I need the, let's say the date from the date time, right? And what do I need from the date? From the date method, I need today. So if I run this, I'm sure this should work, definitely. So today is 2024, 19, 9 on the 13th and on the 13th, right? So that is that. Now, let's work with the time. Are we together? Or perhaps, let's say, to find another examples that can be intriguing. In a simpler example. Okay, let me use the time. Date time dot time, right? And I will run this. Okay, this is not really meaningful, right? Still the same. Now, what I actually want to explain now is from this date time, I we used coming back here, we use date time dot date to call the date method, right? So to import, I can say from small letter F, from date time, right? I can import whatever I want. Let's say I can import date, right? So I can, instead of now calling date time, I can just call date directly by saying date dot now. Okay, so that is just how to import. Does anyone have questions before I move on to next? Hello? Okay, no questions. All right, let me give some introduction to pandas. So I've switched my system fully. So I'll just have to close this. Hello, can you hear me? So as a machine learning engineer.
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you, sir.
So as a machine learning engineer, your task majorly is to predict, right? There are different types of machine learning tasks. Whether you are talking about regression, whether you are talking about classification, or basically you are talking about reinforcement learning, which is more like a robot, right? You have to be dealing with data. To predict what future occurrence is, you have to have known what the past is, kind of. And to know what the past is, you need some previous data so that we can tell the future data, right? So pandas is a library. It's also an external library. So to use pandas, you just have to import, just like working as external library. So we say import pandas, right? So we talked about importing external as PD by aliasing, right? Okay. So after you've imported, let's just try to at least just do some introduction today and remove. So I want to create, don't forget the dictionary, the dictionary we created before. Let me do that again. Let me say goods. Then I'll turn it to pandas data frame. I'll say goods, right, equals to first I had rice before, and the price was, let's say 60,000, right? And I have beans, right? And the price, let's say 70,000. I'm going to print goods now and see. After your hello?
And opposite foods, they are like it will do it at the same time. Now, if a king is here and king is here, so this king one is here, and then piece is here that will keep it.
Please, can you mute yourself?
Yeah, that is still with somebody's silver.
Hello.
Chill. You saying something?
Was she referring to me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I think she was talking to somebody. Now, we're going to put this to data frame now by saying pd dot data frame, right? I'm going to remove this for now. If I put this now, let's see. I run this well. Run this and run this. It's all scalar. Okay. Wouldn't really know why. I'll just create this. Right. So I'll create this on my own now. Do this. Right. Then let's create this by ourselves. I'll just copy this. Now paste it here. Now run. All right, so I'm using scalar here. Okay. Now let me put another item here. Let me say I have put it here, goods, right? And I have all my items here. Let me say price, comma, beans, right? Then I have my prices here. Thank you. That was my head. Right? I have 70, for instance, and I have 80,000. Now close this. Put this in the list. Put this in the list too. Now run. All right. Yes, I have what I wanted. So this is pandas data frame. You can see the way this is structured again. Fairly different from just using ordinary dictionary. But however, pandas is also built from dictionary data structure, as you can see. So I won't talk much on pandas now. So we'll take that from next week. That's almost 5 o'clock. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask. I know technically things were really somehow. So if you have any question, please ask. Questions?
Sorry, sir. What did he mean by scalar?
Okay, scalar here, you're talking about just one quantity. That is, I put just one item here. Pandas will not take one item. No, I'm taking it in form of dictionary structure there. So if I put just one item here, it's going to complain. That is scalar quantity. That is just one value. If I run this now, it's going to complain of scalar there. So yeah, you must pass an index. So if I'm using scalar, there must be an index, kind of like this, comma, and I can say index equals to 0, right? If I run this, then it's going to run. You see? So that was because it was just one particular item I entered for. So if you're entering one item, which is scalar, one value, so then you must assign an index there for yourself. Did I answer that?
Yeah.
Right. Any other question? All right, so we are done with intro, Python, whatever. So we are now moving to advanced. The pandas, we move to NumPy, move to data visualization. Hopefully we are going to rush. So you guys should be prepared to rush through things because 8 weeks obviously is too little to cover up, right? So please let us prepare our mind to walk through things. Any other questions, please? Just 1 minute left. No questions. All right. So this is what I want you to do. Or let me just ask a question. If I want to import, let's assume this is my question. Please let us go, guys. You know, we talked about import, right? Import date time before. And I said there are several things in date time. From date time, I can use the date. I can say print, can say date time dot date, right? Dot now. I told it to work if you do that on a system, so you can say it work now. So let me use dot date. So as you can see, what if I want to import everything from date time? Like, how do I import that? What are the things we have in date time? We have dates, we have time, right? How do I import these two at the same time without specifying? Does anyone knows? Or my question is not clear?
Can I try?
Yes, go ahead.
You can do when you're importing, you write sorry, that's gone again. Import
Okay,
sorry.
Here I can just say from date time, import everything, import all. So this date time will become available. All the methods or whatever will become available to our work area. So when you do something like this, right, you've imported everything, but this is not a good idea. Programmers always tell you shouldn't do this because some of the methods in this particular body might be available as your own variable, right? So there might be a namespace issue there. So in that case, instead of that, I can say from datetime, import date or import time. So in this case, I've imported only the things that I need, right? So that is how we choose whatever we want to import. Did you understand that? All right. Any other questions? No questions. So let's call it a day. Then we'll move to the advanced part of next class. All right. So have a nice, wonderful weekend.